just your reaction, hell of a response on Friday night to those previous 3 disappointing games.
Yeah, obviously terrific result. I thought the boys were really ruthless and clinical and obviously created chances to score goals. In terms of performance, I actually don't really think it was extra special in terms of what we've played recently. And I said that before the game. I don't think we had been particularly poor with the results that we had. I thought the performances have been okay, and I thought we were a little bit better the other night, but I thought we were better in both ends of the pitch, a bit more ruthless, a bit more clinical, and showed what the boys showed what they're capable of. So big result. Obviously, it was a good state to have the stadium full and the atmosphere and night game, and this time of year it's nice to win well. So I think everyone got a good boost from it.
On the injury side, obviously, Force and Ramsey limped off. Dale's still out as well, isn't he? I mean, what's the latest on those to start with?
Yeah, we're counting the amount of players we got for Wednesday night, so we'll see who's fit and who's able to go. We're still kind of assessing the boys really. It's been quite quick after the game, so we'll carry on doing that and we'll see how they are over the next day or two.
You say you're counting the players now. I mean, is it concerning when you get to this crunch time of the season and you start losing a few more people?
No, not at all. I think it's the beauty of having a good squad, good players to be part of the group, to be ready to play. I think I've said it for a long time about how important the squad is and how important it is when you're not playing to be ready, and sometimes it's in the biggest moments where you need to be ready. So that's what we've all been working towards all season, and who knows what's ahead.
And Hull Wednesday night, another big game under the lights on the telly as well. I mean, are you looking at that game now and thinking, right, 3 points Wednesday, and we're definitely in there for the playoffs?
Genuinely looking to the next game, to be honest with you. I think it's another home game, another big game for us, and another one where we're trying to play well and win. Hull's a good team, really good team actually, and they make you work for it. They've had a really good run and probably not had the results that the performances have deserved, so we know what we're up against. In terms of the bigger picture, again, keep saying the same things. It's just the game, the next game that's in front of us, and then we'll end up where we're going to end up. So we bounced back well the other night, and we're looking to carry that on.
And since Rossini's coming, they sort of turned their fortunes around sort of fairly significantly. What challenges do you see them giving you on Wednesday?
They're a very good team in possession of the ball. They pick up pockets of space well. They've got a really clear kind of way of playing, which you can see it's what Liam's brought to the team, and playing well. Had some really good games over the last few weeks especially, and being really impressed with what I've seen. So they're obviously well coached, and they've got some really good players. So we'll have a lot of work to do to get the ball back, because they're good at kind of hiding it from you and looking after it, and so we'll have a lot of work to do in that respect, but it'll be a good challenge.
Finally for me, there was that nice moment Friday night when I think Sky put that little graphic up after the 5th went in, top goal scorers in the Championship. I mean, I don't know if you saw that during it or presumably afterwards.
I had my eyes on the pitch at that stage.
How did you feel when you see that, in terms of sort of solidifying what you're wanting to do at the football club?
Yeah, it's nice. We want to play and be part of teams that winning teams and scoring goals. Of course it is. It wasn't a surprise. We keep track closely of how we're doing in certain situations, and certainly that end of the pitch, we've looked dangerous. We've kind of taken our chances and scoring a lot of goals. So it's. Yeah, of course, it's nice, and it's nice to share kind of them moments out, and the boys are creating goals for each other, assisting for each other, unselfish play, and over a period of time they all get rewards for that. So yeah, something that we're pleased about, but we're looking to improve on and build on.
Smashing. Thank you. Best of luck.
Just on the injury front, Michael, obviously there isn't many games left this season. I mean, are we potentially looking at seasons being over for some of the boys, or are you hoping to?
I don't want to speak too early, because don't want to go too drastic on it, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, of course, time's running out, so anything you pick up at this stage is always a risk of that, but I'm not thinking about that.
Yeah, obviously injuries do provide opportunities for other players, and Alex came on Friday night and took his. Just how impressed were you, bearing in mind he hasn't played a lot of football?
Yeah, I was impressed. Wasn't surprised because we know over a period of time, as I keep saying to you, how well the boys train and how good a group it is in the squad. And credit to Alex for that he's kept himself at a really high level and deserved the performance that he got and the praise that he got, because I thought he played terrifically well. And it's not easy, especially on them weather conditions coming in a game like that. That's thick and fast, but I thought he was terrific.
Yeah, it was perhaps one you might call a left field decision, given it was a winger going off. But was there anything in your thinking in terms of why it was Alex that you turned to in that moment?
No, it just Hayden's played that position a few times in later on in games when we shuffled things a little about. He's played higher up at times previous to me and coming through the ranks here, and so it's kind of suited Hayden as well, and he's smart enough to do that. And it was just good balance on that left side, really, that complemented each other. So it was it's not an easy decision, of course, because we got other options, so it's not a straightforward one by any stretch, and it kind of took a bit of thinking time and some working out. But at the same point, I thought Hayden, especially playing out position from what he has done, I thought he settled in really well and just showed how clever and smart he is in game understanding, so it balanced off really well.
Yeah, and another lad who got in, obviously, Isaiah Jones back on the pitch. He alluded after the game on social media to it being, a tricky couple of months for him on and off the pitch. But you said it was nice after to see him looking like himself again. Are you hoping this can kind of be, if you like, the springboard for him to kind of get back to where he was?
I think we're hoping for all the players to be near the best and to be pushing to be the best and actually better than what the previous best was. I think that's the challenge for all of us. So it was nice to see Izzy on the pitch. He played with a real kind of spark and energy and positivity, which is what he does best. And so I was delighted for him. He's obviously trained well, trained hard, waited for his chance, and it was good to see him back on the pitch doing well.
Yeah, he obviously has had a couple of tough months. That's no secret. But this time last year we were talking about one of the brightest young talents probably in the division, and you perhaps haven't seen that yet in terms of directly while you've been here. But how valuable could it be to have someone like Isaiah in that kind of form?
Yeah, of course you want your players, as I said, playing well and picking the players when they're on top form and having that option. Of course it is. I think form's one of them things, especially with young players, where you got to expect it to a point. Of sometimes when it goes really well and in the flying, and other times it doesn't come as easy, and that's part of us as managing that and helping them. And it's a big part of football. You can't always be at your best, and it's about managing that and managing your ups and your downs. And so going through that experience certainly helped the younger players.
Just finally from me, Hull City, the away game, the reverse fixture, that was your first win as Middlesbrough manager. I mean, thinking back to that night, the scenes at full time with the away fans, did that feel like a particularly kind of significant moment for you to get that first win?
It was a good night, yeah. I didn't put down to desperate for that first win. I think it was hoping that would just happen naturally by doing the right things, but certainly it was a good night for us. I think it was big for the players to get the first and score goals and played well, and obviously for the supporters to get that boost early on and carried on from there.
Cheers.
Just on the back of that, the first win there as a manager at Borough, obviously I know you had the spell at Man United, but how does the feeling of victory differ between what it was like as a player and what it's like as a manager?
Probably doesn't last as long, I think, now. It's probably just thinking about what's next. Yeah, listen, it's obviously a good feeling. It's a nice feeling to know the work's getting rewarded and the boys are playing well, and it's more seeing them thriving and playing near the best that you take more satisfaction from. But then it's quickly about, almost as the game's going on, you're planning ahead. Who needs a rest, who's looking for the next game, how trying to manage the dynamics of the whole group, and so it's, in terms of that, the victory is short and sweet, and you move on.
How long does it last then? So Friday night, for example, is it kind of enjoy Friday night, wake up Saturday morning, it's parked, you move on?
Yeah, even during the game, I think on Friday night you might even before that, we spent Friday morning watching Hull, so before the game you kind of planning ahead. That's kind of what we have to do. So and then obviously as the game's going on and it gets to the stage where we were comfortable right towards the end, and as I said, in terms of substitutes and players on the pitch and managing that, you're always thinking ahead. Of course, straight after the game with the players and the staff, it's well done, and but even that, driving home, mine's ticking to the next one already.
Craig mentioned Alex there when he came on. A lone player who probably hasn't played as much as what he hoped when he came, uncertain future, chances going back to his parent club in the summer. Is that credit to his professionalism that he comes on and puts in a performance like that?
100%. I think there's it's not easy, as much as we can say that. A squad, keep training and tell the players keep training, you get your chance, you've got to be ready for it. It's not always easy, so credit to Alex and credit to the other boys who maybe haven't had as much as they would have liked, the way they've trained and applied themselves and supported the boys, even the ones in their positions. I've spoken about it before. I think otherwise you couldn't come on and do what Alex did the other night. It's impossible. If you're not keeping yourself at that level, you can't expect to suddenly spike when you need to call upon it. So in terms of his character and his professionalism and his attitude, you can't fault Alex one bit.
And Dan's one of those in that position. I think you have the joint top assist in the league when he came in. Again, it's credit to those who are in front of him that he hasn't been able to play as much as what he might have hoped so far.
Yeah, of course, and that's when there's competition for places and boys are training well and chomping at the bit to be part of things. That's the tough decisions we've got to make. And but I've spoke to the boys that they'll all play a part at some point, and it's vital that they're ready, whether it's this week, next week, a couple of weeks down the line. That's why they're here, because we believe in them and they're here for a reason. So we'll look forward to seeing the best of the whole group at some point between now and the next month.
And just last one from me on Dan specifically. I presume when he came in January, he knew that it was maybe a longer term thing, because you only have to look at the way Hayden and Johnny have been playing in there.
Of course, yeah. That's why I've spoken about the squad for some time now, and how much I believe in all the players in the group. And I know it kind of maybe doesn't make sense all the time, because the team in itself has been quite consistent, but there's obviously reasons for that, because the boys have played so well. And but of course that doesn't mean that we anyone's out of favour, or we brought Dan to the club because I really like him as a player. I think he's got fantastic attributes, and I have to say he's been fantastic around the group. He really has, and he's desperate to play, and so he should be. And exactly that, there'll be games that he plays, and fully behind him, fully trust him. I see him every day work. I know what he's capable of doing. So it's not easy decisions when you got to pick between good players, but that's why we're here, and hopefully we'll make the right calls, and everyone will have a part to play.
Having bounced back so spectacularly with another home game, does it give you a chance to really get some momentum going back-to-back home games?
It only does if you win the next game, really. Momentum's important. I think the feeling within the group and the dynamics is important. Of course it is. And wins do give you that extra bit of boost, extra bit of energy, extra bit of confidence. But I said it, and I said it before again, about when it doesn't quite go well, we're not beating ourselves up and killing ourselves, because there was still a lot of good things there to take. So you got to be balanced. We're not going to get carried away because we've won one game and all of a sudden everything else is going to be rosy. It's about what we do next, today, tomorrow, ready for the game on Wednesday. And
you mentioned the atmosphere, the night match, and there's another night match. Does that play a big part, especially at this stage of the season, that atmosphere?
The atmosphere does, yeah. I think we thrive off it, the players thrive off it, for sure, and hopefully by the players then playing well and scoring goals, then the cycle goes again and grows even more and snowballs even more, and the supporters enjoy it. They come the louder, the more enthusiastic, the energy within the stadium increases, and then the cycle goes and the players rub off on it. So that connection is vital. I spoke about it ever since I arrived and how much I believe in that, and it's great to see.